I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty sick of big tech pushing me around. So today, we're going to discuss 5 ways that you can stand up to big tech's abuses.
Sundar Pichai comes into your home, you tell him no. You tell him I sent you. You say, no, don't you bully me.
That's one way.
Then you tell the teacher. And, it'll work itself out, I guess. He's going to get in so much trouble.
All right.
His parents are going to be so mad.
So before getting into the list, just wanted to talk about what? Stand up to big tech? We love big tech. Google.
Everyone's saying that.
Yeah,
I think that's the zeitgeist at the moment.
Here we are, definitely not on YouTube, talking about how
That's
horrible
right.
Google is.
Exactly.
We love tick. We love talk. We love it when the two great flavors come together.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Here's my view of it. These are the most powerful companies on Earth, headed by the richest individuals on Earth, or many of the richest individuals on Earth. And they got rich by being reckless and greedy, or moving fast and breaking things, as Mark Zuckerberg would say. They exploit slave labor. They get away with anti-competitive and illegal and antisocial behavior to crush their smaller and more honest competition. They're addicting us and our children to their products. So this isn't honestly earned wealth.
The fruits of their labor are siphoned up to a very narrow class of people. Very few people actually see the profits of these tech companies, so it adds to wealth inequality.
Yeah. Well, and so they're using that grotesque wealth, besides just the direct impacts of their shitty companies, they use this to hurt our society in other ways. They exercise their privileged position in the influence ecosystem to wreck our politics, to push propaganda. They buy politicians, of course. They cut taxes and regulations on themselves. They cut social services on us. In my view, we have a Russia-style oligarchy taking shape, and we need to stop them. And so that's why you got to stand up to big tech.
Hold on. I want to go back slightly where you said we have a Russian-style oligarchy taking shape. But in Russia, the government is the boss of the oligarchs. But here in America, the oligarchs are the boss of the president, dude. It's the other way around.
Yeah,
I just thought it was sort of an interesting little difference between the two.
Yeah, like no two countries are the same. Some people think that the oligarchs, if 5 oligarchs in Russia got together, they could overthrow Putin, right? So they're in.
I feel like those oligarchs might be standing too close to Windows, but
Oh yeah, and I got this picture here. If you don't believe that these heroes of modern technology are bribing the president, this is a picture of CEOs who attended Trump's inauguration. I think they all paid over $1 million to be there, and they've paid lots of bribes since, and they've also received lots of special favors, including breaks from tariffs that you don't get, and or that other companies don't get. So yeah.
Well, if those other companies wanted exemptions from the tariffs, they should have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, marched over to Washington, and bribed the president, like our tech companies did.
Yeah, it's kind of my responsibility for not ponying up $1 million to the president. But David, you said there were 5 ways to stand up to these tech oligarchs. What are those 5 ways?
Thanks, Phil. Number 5, I've got micromanage your settings. So do you guys ever dig through your Android or Apple settings and look at the privacy settings and all of your apps?
When I read a really scary article about how Google's spying on me.
Well,
I'm not above it. Like, I am often motivated by some like not inflammatory, scary article. Like, this app is tracking you not just in the app, but it's also reading your Amazon gift card, and it's looking at your search history, and it's looking for, it wants to know your League of Legends rating. And if you go in and look at the settings, that you'd be surprised at just how many things you can get it to stop doing.
Yeah, I think that is the takeaway, that per app, there are lots of settings. Sometimes there are permissions that you can grant them only temporarily. So yeah, there are lots of ways around it, and lots of these apps, they go ahead and they do their dirty work anyways. But all of this information that's being harvested on you, it's being sold or used to sell ads to you, to basically addict you and waste your time and waste your money. So turn it off whenever you can.
Little do they know my time is worthless. Joke's on them.
You can't waste your time if your time is worth nothing.
There you go. All right. Number 4, cancel your shit. What do you... It's actually my favorite because this is one that I actually have done kind of a lot lately. Feels good. You guys canceled anything recently?
No, but only because I canceled it all a long time ago.
I do routinely cancel my newspaper subscription so I can get the new person rate. They encourage that. Call up your cable provider. Tell them you're canceling. They'll give you a discount. It works for a surprising amount of things.
Yeah, that's true. That's one great reason to do this. You hit cancel and then they offer you a discount. And so take the discount. Reverse the fund transfer from you to them, or reduce it at least. Yeah, but so there's that. You could just cancel in order to get a discount, but then there's just genuinely canceling. Yeah, I've canceled a few subscriptions over the last year. I'm pretty glad about it. Paramount Plus, got rid of that shit. Screw those guys. Got rid of my Disney Plus, got rid of a Google Workspace account, got rid of a Google Storage subscription. Yeah, a lot of the time you just have things that you don't even use. So this is a large part of the business model, is to get you falling asleep, giving them your money every month. So stick it to them. Cancel your accounts. Number 3, buy from a competitor.
This is a good strategy if there is a competitor.
Yeah, I was going to say all their competitors are just other big tech companies usually.
You know, that's a fair point. So I was thinking that, so I got off of Google Fi and switched to Boost Mobile. Boost Mobile is also a pretty large company.
This is the most, left and right, just potential sponsors that will just never see that money. Just plugging and plugging away.
That's okay with me. We're not in it for the, we're not in it for the money.
We're just in it for Boost Mobile.
Yeah, there are a couple examples that I think are really good. So one, you guys were mentioning it not long ago at all. You use DuckDuckGo, Phil, right? I started using DuckDuckGo. It works just as good.
I use Brave, but actually, yeah, my daughter uses DuckDuck.
I use DuckDuckGo. Google started being a pain in the ass because I use a VPN also, and so I ditched Google, and I don't miss it that much.
Every now and then there's a type of search where they have one of their special cards, these specialized responses that DuckDuckGo doesn't have, and so then I Google it if that comes up. But yeah, 90% of the time, yeah, these other companies that are less unethical, and even if they're equally unethical, they have less market share. So yeah, happy to switch on that. But that's not even really buying. The big example that I thought of is Microsoft Windows.
I ditched Windows recently. Well, not that recently, but I ditched Windows completely. Only Linux here now, dude.
Good for you. Microsoft Windows is crap. It sucks. It's genuinely awful software. Linux is, not only does it suck, it is expensive. If you buy a computer, they're tacking on an extra $100 for your Windows license. So buy a Linux computer. I know, have you guys tried this Steam OS? You guys both play a lot of video games. Are you aware?
I'm familiar with it, but I just use Linux Mint. I don't use SteamOS.
Right. So lots of video.
I don't really see the point of SteamOS.
Okay. But I think that in the past, from you guys, you've given me the argument that Windows machines are useful if you play a lot of video games. And I think that the point of SteamOS is to try to be a Linux distribution that's somewhat focused on compatibility.
Tying right into the theme of this episode, the reason that this all happened was Microsoft made noises that they were going to start charging fees to have people sell Windows software. And so Steam was like, hell no, we're going to make our own OS. And so they did that. And they wrote a compatibility layer for DirectX. And so now you can play essentially every video game on Linux that you can on Windows.
Right. Beautiful. Really important. It's important to unlock this. Some people, I think, find Linux to be intimidating.
In before the Trump administration shuts down Linux.
Can't. All the servers run on Linux. Dude, North Korea has their own Linux distribution, by the way.
Yeah? What's it called?
It's called Red Star OS.
That's pretty cool.
Gotta get me some Red Star OS. But so, one company that I've bought Linux computers from is called System 76. There you go. Buy from somebody else. Don't buy a computer that comes with Windows. It's expensive garbage.
Fuck this computer.
Well, you already,
I've come crawling back.
I mean, look, it's okay. If you already own one, it's okay, just for your next computer. Part of the point here is to not waste a whole bunch of your own money. So talking about moving forward, you should make the most of the equipment you already have. But yeah, if any of you have a business, so I've heard about this from video games, but I've also heard about it from businesses, right? I've got this essential software that only runs in Windows. So therefore, we're stuck in Windows forever. If that's you, leave a comment. We'll see what open source alternatives there are. I mean, there is a lot of great open source software, a lot of great commercial software that runs in Linux. So you're
We
wrong.
use
Do
open
something
source
else.
software for our thumbnails.
Exactly. Yeah, Photoshop, another great example. Forget that. Use GIMP. Okay. Number 2 way to stick it to big tech is sacrificial offerings in an appeal for a large solar flare event. Or do you guys have any other?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, start constructing an EMP device and bring us back all to the Stone Age.
All
Yeah.
those people in ventilators can suck it. Not air, but, it.
PoBuddy's nerfed. I mean, you gotta break a few human breathing eggs now. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're supposed to have 5 things when you make a list of 5 things, and so I slid this one in. But seriously, though, a large solar flare could probably screw up these companies pretty bad.
Also,
And have
human
no
society.
negative yeah.
What was that, Danny?
Said, and, human society, because we rely on computers to survive. But
Then the number 1 method to stick it to big tech is to put away your phone and shop local.
The proverbial touch grass.
then how am I going to get mad?
You won't. It'll be great. Or maybe you'll step in dog poop. Maybe that's how you'll get mad. Though you would probably step in dog poop if you're walking around looking at your phone.
No way, dude, because then you're looking right at the ground. That's where the dog poop is. You'll avoid it. You might get hit by a car, but you won't step in dog poop.
Just last night, I went to some live entertainment. I paid $10 for a ticket. Saw some outstanding stand-up. Got to hang out with some friends. I know on Netflix there is infinite stand-up that you've already paid for with your monthly subscription. But there's really nothing like actually going to the show. It's just a better experience. You're actually helping out these up-and-comers, and it's great entertainment. So they do things like talk serious shit about Netflix. So you're not going to get that on Netflix.
I mean,
This
you
is the
probably
kind of
could,
plug
but-
I can. This is the kind of plug I can get behind. Rave review for Outside.
I mean, here we are on the internet, dude. We have to tell our fellow internet dwellers about the scary place, dude.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're undercutting our whole thing. We're on the internet. If people stop paying attention to us, then what will become of us? We'll,
I mean, people
do
have to
other
start
things.
first.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
yeah.
true.
I was.
We'll show you listeners. No one watches us anyways, so
We're
take
sticking
that.
it to big tech by putting our content on YouTube.
Exactly. So I was thinking about this as the irony of just doing this on YouTube, right? But I'm pretty sure we don't make YouTube very much money. So I think one unsubscription from a Google Workspace account, I think covers everything our channel's ever done for them.
Wait. Everyone who's listening to this right now, download Adblocker, and then you won't have to listen to ads on YouTube. This is the secret they don't want to tell you.
Gosh.
Yep.
So
I was gonna say earlier, you mentioned all these sort of alternate programs. Do you think that downloading a bunch of extra add-on programs that take away the annoying features from the companies, Google per se, that AI summary, you can download an add-on that takes away the AI summary, hides it from you. YouTube, too full of shorts. You can't click on full-length videos and keep your attention span intact. You can hide that with YouTube Enhancer. You get AdBlock, uBlock Origin. That's good for Firefox
Adblock
users.
is the one that must get Google really mad, judging by how much time they spend fighting it.
yeah, I think those are all great. I'm actually working on an Android launcher to basically to triage my notifications so they don't spam me so much with stuff that's obviously not urgent, and also an alternative front end for YouTube and for other feeds so that they're not so addictive for myself. But yeah,
When you said Android launcher, I was picturing you a catapult for your phone, since you were saying don't spend so
Yes.
much time on your phone. Put it in the catapult, launch it away from yourself.
No, yeah, launcher, like the app that is your home screen. So it kind of has a lot of opportunities to nudge you towards better behavior. Anyways, no, I love it. The little software solutions like browser plugins to make life a little bit less stupid. Yeah, I think it's telling that they don't let you even build browser extensions for mobile. Like they're like, no, this is where we own you when you're on the phone.
Nah, dude, I've got uBlock Origin on Firefox on mobile, and I don't see ads even when I watch YouTube on mobile. It's incredible, dude. Whenever I see an ad, because I'm like watching somebody's phone who doesn't have ad block, I'm like, how do you live like this? You're a savage, an animal.
There you go. Yeah, good. Any other? So, well, of course, anyone watching, I'd love to hear what techniques you're using to stick it to big tech and or to stand up for yourself against big tech. I feel like, these companies, they drain away besides all this harm that they're doing, societally, they do harm to us individually by draining away our time and money. And a lot of these actions are just about overcoming these fairly modest friction and overcoming our own price insensitivity. They raise their prices, go somewhere else. They make their terms worse, go somewhere else. And so, yeah, we actually do have the freedom in little ways to stand back. So, and of course, another honorable mention is political advocacy. Is at least, not that Democrats are perfect here, but the last Democratic president had a chairwoman of the FTC who meant business when it came to breaking up big tech and actually seemed to care about monopoly laws, not just want to use them to extract bribes. So,
And they did not like that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do everything in our power to advocate politically for whatever tech CEOs don't want. Just be on the opposite end of the issue with them. That is just good policy.
So if you think we're hypocrites for making such fantastic content for YouTube, leave a nasty or sarcastic comment.
Hey, we're making this content for Spotify too. Don't forget our other tech overlords.
And Apple Podcast, dude.
Apple.
You can find us everywhere.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next week on the InfoHazard Podcast Show. Bye.